What advice do you have for clients who are implementing a service portal?
My biggest advice for those that are thinking about implementing Service Portal and or at the start of implementing Service Portal or redesigning their Service Portal is to trust in a process. So it's not something that's built through one conversation like you would configure something. So I would just say trust that, you know, if you're following a process of deciding what you want on a page, deciding the layout of a page, wireframing, then thinking about what type of content you want on that page, what type of language should you be using, what type of message do we want to deliver, what type of colors are we going to be using. Like, as those things start all coming together, I think something really nice can be built. But again, like, you have to have faith in the process, and, like, you know, sometimes you don't get it exactly right, and it's good to iterate, and it's good to continue to plow forward. Sometimes you learn a lot by what you don't like, and it allows you to then iterate and find more things that you like. So trust in the process, I guess.
How can clients get the best results for their service portal implementation?
When we collaborate on a vision that the client has for a portal, it usually turns out better. And I guess what I mean by that is, like, when the client comes to the game with an understanding of what they want and what they need, and then we bring our understanding of best practice and a guidance for user experience to the game, I think it's a really powerful combination.
Yeah, and as far as best results come from when a client really engages. They bring everybody to the table, to the workshops that need to make decisions. That definitely helps out a lot. It's really hard to build out a portal or come up with ideas for a portal when you ask a question and the client responds with, "Oh, that person's not here right now, but we'll talk with them later."
What actions should firms take to help with portal adoption at their organization?
Yeah, this was one area where, like, your BPC on a project can really instruct the client for organizational change management.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about campaigns within the portal, but also a campaign to introduce the portal separately before it's launched. Advertise it. Say, hey, here's what you can expect on such and such date. When we're launching this new portal, you'll be able to do this. You'll be able to do that. Right? You want to get your user base aware of what's coming, get them excited about it, log in and play around with it and see if they like it, what they don't like. And it's a matter of introducing it over a month or 2 months prior just to get some excitement. It's like, a new app's coming for your favorite online shop, right? You like, get ready, new products being teased. Here's what it looks like. It'll be available on this date. Sort of the same kind of thing, right? If you just give users, here's this link, go enjoy. It's more like, okay, well, how are you guaranteeing anyone's going to click on that? You have all these resources under one link, but if you don't tell them that it's there or don't do any training, your adoption rate's not going to be very good.
More people across the company participate in the process of building the portal, there's wider adoption. So, like, a person from each department, a representative, you're not going to have 2,000 people or 50,000
Right.
people each company building, but, like, maybe one representative from each department, maybe one representative from each location, if it's a manageable number of locations.
Any online presence is only as good as the content that is served up. So, I mean, it even starts with knowledge base and service catalog. Write knowledge base articles to the user to address the user. Have a logical taxonomy of categories. Same with service catalog.
And even the additional piece of that is search capability too. We want to make sure that all those knowledge articles, catalogs, are meta tagged. We want to make search engine optimization a top priority so that, everyone's used to just searching for things nowadays. They don't really want to hunt through categories and subcategories and find the article title that looks, they're not going to read the whole page. They're going to search for keywords and they expect a result. So if they don't find a result, that piece also needs to be really robust. And this is one of the things I've been introducing a bit more in my workshops is, okay, what do we do when we reach a search result that means that shows nothing? Or what do we do if they find a page that doesn't exist, right? We don't want to have any dead ends ever. So, because if you give a user a dead end, they're going to give up. They're going to pick up the phone. They're going to call somebody who knows where to get the answer, or they're going to call the service desk, which is defeating the whole purpose of the portal in the first place.
Yeah, so I think one of the things for me that stands out about this page is the way that things are focused and the way that we place emphasis on different features. So I think one of the things that this portal does really well is not only emphasizes search as one of those main features that a lot of customers and a lot of end users are very familiar with and something that they go to naturally as the first place to get support, but then also the chat button on that right-hand side. And so this portal is using a couple different elements here to do that. So the positioning of that search bar and giving it that kind of darker tinted gold is something that's immediately going to draw attention to anybody who goes to the site. That's where their eyes are going to go first. And then on the other side, you have that feedback button and the chat button. Those are getting attention by that color, that red, which is not really present elsewhere on the page. So that is something that your eye also goes to. So I think that that's something that this page does well, is uses just some really kind of understated elements of positioning and color to give emphasis to some features that are really important and ones that end users go to immediately. They either want to search or they want to get into a chat and actually talk with somebody, real person, and explain their situation to them. So I think that's one thing that this page does well. So for me, I really enjoy this sidebar nav whenever I see it on any site, any portal. And I think that it's just something that's very straightforward in the way it's constructed, and it's a presentation that people are used to in a lot of different ways. Just top down, you're able to read through the items and it's very clear what each of them is. I think another fantastic thing about the sidebar is it doesn't take away from anything else that you might want to put onto the page. It's something that can collapse and leave space for other content that you do want to put there. And that gives you the opportunity to have a lot of rolling content coming in and out. Yeah, so what this page is doing here is it's really leveraging some out-of-the-box widgets that exist, and that's one thing that we definitely recommend with the portals, is making it scalable for the future. And another thing that this page does, and in particular this widget does, is it tends to simplify the request case ticket process and groups them together. So a lot of the times it may not be very important or abundantly obvious to a service consumer what type of record they're interacting with, but they do know, okay, I have something related to my iPhone right there, or there's something related to a server that I submitted a request for, or an incident for. And so by grouping everything together and being able to search by that name, that short description that's associated with these different tickets here, that's something that can improve the user experience. There is a lot that can be said about this page right here and the different ways that you can improve submission of your forms and make services easier to consume. And so a couple of things that definitely recommend and like to see on portals are that link between a service and related articles. And you can see in that middle section, there's that highlighted articles you may find useful block. And that's going to be one way that you can provide more information to anybody on this particular service, or maybe topical changes that have occurred since the last time they submitted it. Maybe it's something that's submitted yearly. So it's not something that people have been paying very much attention to, but there's a change that may be important to them that they can take a look at when they're reviewing that article. And another thing that you like to see is bringing forms in that are related to a service. So if there is something that you need to attach, as part of submitting this form, bring the form onto the page itself, so the person who's consuming your service doesn't have to go to a separate site. They don't have to go to their email, some internet, and dig through who knows what in order to find the form that they need to submit. You can have it right here, and it can be downloaded or maybe even filled out electronically and then attached to this form. So a couple of ways to provide more information and then just make the user experience simpler.
So real simple things. There's a welcome message. There's some text saying what this portal is. It's the Associate Support Center. It looks like it has some content being pushed to the end user. The coronavirus, frequently asked questions. The end user help themselves. It's showing outages, giving the end user some warning of some events that are coming up, planned maintenance, outages.
It seems like when I look at these types of portals, I think back to the days of like Geneva when it was beta, and then Helsinki when like Service Portal first launched, and like it was a far cry from anything that you look at here. And it feels like you can look at this page and think like back in Helsinki you used to, or Geneva or whenever you were first working on Service Portal, you would really have to like highly customize an instance to get a page to look something like
Yeah,
this. And now with like all these new capabilities,
yeah, the content delivery
content
widgets.
delivery, the campaigns, the system outages. I mean, just like the ability to turn what it was just like a very simple support portal into like a full-fledged unified intranet for your company has come a long way.